MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Northwestern Energy betting that coal is the future of energy in Montana. Why the company says producing more state power with coal a good idea just ahead. And schools across Montana short of teachers. At 6:32, learn what teachers are most needed and find out why the profession is not attracting enough young people to fill those jobs. Well, good morning and happy Tuesday, Southwest Montana. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell, and
I'm here.
Computer glitch going on.
It's typical.
Matt reloading his weather as we speak. That's a live shot. Thanks to our community hospital of Anaconda ICAM into the mining city. It looks like a little snow there in the roadway, Matt.
Right. Yeah, no, they're definitely dealing with some light snow, some icy conditions. They've had some fog. Not a lot of reports of accidents. Powder River County seeing some accidents, but not so much here in Southwest Montana. It is cold though. Bundle up on your way outside. Temperatures into the teens for most of us as we're starting the morning. That's us. Chet Lehman and Matt Elwell. Half-mile visibility in Belgrade. Had visibility down earlier this morning in Butte. It does look like that low-lying fog is going to continue to be an issue. Turn on the lights.
Good idea.
I'm just throwing that out there as an idea
so
or
obvious,
to follow
yet
the
you
law.
drive around,
Visibility is not the greatest. I don't expect to see a lot more in the form of snow for the day today, but icy conditions out there. Here's a breakdown of temperatures for today. Topping out into the upper 20s to low 30s for most of the area, but again, the morning is our big issue, visibility and ice on the area roadways. I'm going to talk about our chances of snow as you get into the weekend. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:30, our top story. Northwestern Energy says it's breathing new life into the Colstrip power plant. Power Utility says it will acquire a share of the plant's units 3 and 4. Now, the purchase price is $0. That's because Avista Corporation is already required to end its investment in Colstrip at the end of 2025. That follows a settlement with regulators in Washington state. Northwestern says it believes the move will reinforce reliable and affordable power through coal during high demand events like December's cold snap. That deal goes into effect starting in January of 2026.
We believe we have a commitment to the community of Colstrip, just like we have a commitment to our customers and to the state of Montana. And these things all come together with this additional acquisition.
Now, moments after the announcement, Republican Senator Steve Daines applauded the move, saying it will help support Montana energy jobs. Northwestern says the move requires no action by the Public Service Commission. Other headlines, it's a growing problem across Montana schools, a teacher shortage that spiked last year and does continue into this year. There are currently 2,700 public school job openings in Montana. Our Charlie Kleps dives into why it's happening and how better recruitment could have a lasting impact.
Montana's teacher shortage improved a bit this past year, but it's still a major problem, especially in rural districts. Here in Billings, there are even some challenges, something that the special education director at Senior High is all too familiar with. Teaching is a thankless job, and it's a profession that isn't getting any easier, with staffing shortages impacting just about every school district across Montana.
Everybody gets overwhelmed. It doesn't matter what department you're in, and I guess it just comes with the territory.
Josh Beeman is the special education department head at Senior High, and he understands the problem on a completely different level.
Special education's rewarding and amazing to a lot of individuals and those people that are in it, but a lot of other people don't see it that way.
The state's Office of Public Instruction has identified the top 3 critical shortage areas this school year. Special education comes in at number 2 with 259 openings statewide. Elementary school teachers top the charts with 492 openings, and there is a need for 188 math teachers across Montana.
To say it's a concern is an understatement. Not only are we just seeing a dip in the total of applications that we have, the applicants, we're also seeing less students going into education.
Billings School Superintendent Greg Upham credits part of the problem to the negativity surrounding schools today. School shootings nationwide haven't helped with that perception problem, and neither has teachers' salaries and low starting pay in almost every state.
I think we as in the education profession need to do a better job of marketing that these are great jobs.
I was a teacher in Billings for 23 years, and it's so important to remember that it is a profession of passion.
There is some good news. Montana's teacher shortage has improved from last year, with job openings down from 2,919 in 2022 to 2,700 in 2023. But there are still more openings than in 2020.
We have to be mindful that these shortage critical areas still do affect a lot of school districts.
Teachers like Josh Beeman are hopeful numbers will continue to turn around post-pandemic and that more students will be drawn to the positives of the profession.
One thing the special education teaches a teacher is that every individual is different. Our goal is to help the kids that don't think they're good at anything to find that passion.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Now on the higher education front, Montana State University students don't return to class until tomorrow, so Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebrations will happen on Thursday on the campus. It's a chance to celebrate Dr. King's legacy, have conversations, including his I Have a Dream message, focusing on solidarity. The famous central message of that, in Dr. King's words, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. That event is hosted by MSU. It's at the Diversity and Inclusion Student Commons from 5 to 6:15, Ballroom A of the Strand Union Building. Music, mocktails, and mashed potato bar, and it's all going to be free again on the MSU campus on Thursday. 6:35 now. Highways are the lifeblood of many Montana communities, often going right through the middle of town, bringing travelers and tourists. John Riley takes a closer look at proposed legislation that would give local municipalities control over highway sidewalk permitting in city limits and meet with an impacted business.
This is Broadway Street in Townsend, Montana. Just about as textbook definition as you can get for what main streets look like in small towns in America. However, this is also Highway 12, which means it's under the jurisdiction of the Montana Department of Transportation. The roadway, parking, and sidewalks are all under MDT on the highways. That jurisdiction management has been causing issues for some Montana businesses.
I believe this is a situation where good intentions have kind of run amok, some unforeseen consequences to the laws.
House Bill 198 would change that, giving control of the sidewalks to local municipalities. Townsend hardware owner J.B. Howick says he would like to put displays out on sidewalks to help entice customers to come in, but has been denied by MDT in the past. Howick admits his first year owning the business, he went too far with some potted plant displays, but since then has been denied things like displays right next to the business.
As a result, items that are on sidewalks, that are above sidewalks, that encroach into sidewalks, they feel that's their jurisdiction and they just assume none of them were there.
Businesses MTN spoke with said they were told by MDT their signs and other items were in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. According to the MDT website, the state requirement for minimum clearance is 60 inches. However, ADA does allow for 36 inches of clearance as long as there is a 60-inch by 60-inch passing spaces at intervals of 200 feet. The bill sponsor, Julie Dooling, says no matter what, any law passed by the legislature has to follow federal ADA.
One of the main points of this bill is we still have to be in compliance with ADA. It just gives the municipality discretion and authority to make their own ordinance regarding display of items on a sidewalk within the MDT right-of-way.
Howick also noted it's just good business to make sure everyone, no matter their mobility, has access to his business and would never want to block that access.
That's undermining my own customer base. I want them to come into the store. Frankly, it's a little bit hard enough as it is dealing with a 100-year-old store that was never originally designed for disability access to block the sidewalk. That would just be mean.
MDT opposed a similar bill last legislative session. We reached out to the department for comment on the proposed bill, but our requests were not returned. In Townsend, John Riley, MTN News.
All right, more to follow on that story. Meantime, 6:38, little creatures in red hats are living among us at a Bozeman Story Mill Park this month. Our Jolie Salee visited the Gnome Room and found what it takes to create this magical experience.
If you didn't know, a group of gnomes are living here at Story Mill Park in Bozeman, and they spend their time trapping trolls, watching for incoming weather, and mining for magical gems. Hats off to them for keeping the community safe. Two sisters, Blaine and Jules Martin, got to go on an adventure this morning as they strolled through the Gnome Room, a magical art installment created by Random Acts of Silliness.
I forgot that one's name, but it was Gilbert. Gilbert.
You get to meet Gilby. He is the guide gnome, and there are these little sound boxes where you can hear Gilby talking about the important work they do and chatting with the other gnomes.
Can you tell our newbie gnomes a bit about what you do here?
Danielle Thompson, the Executive Enchantment Director for Random Acts of Silliness, says this is their first time using sound boxes to enhance the experience for their visitors.
And it allows the whole group to kind of listen together, more of a shared listening experience.
And so far, it's been a hit. In the first 2 days of the Gnome Roam, they had about 1,900 visitors.
And so far this morning, I think we're at almost 200.
Visitors flocked to the park this morning to learn all about the gnomes, who Thompson says have a very big job on their hands.
Help take care of injured animals. They store food for other gnomes and animals in the winter. They're always on the lookout for trolls. They have a perimeter of troll traps set up all the way around the park.
Thompson and her co-workers have been working on bringing this gnome world to life for about 8 months.
The 3D printing, a lot of the paper mache, and all those elements. And then just the last few months, we've had a tremendous amount of volunteer hours painting props, painting gnomes, sewing gnome hats, and helping us get the park ready for the installation.
The Gnome Roam is free and open to the public from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. until January 29th. To learn more about the Gnome Roam, you can visit our website.
I liked it a lot.
In Bozeman, Jolie Salee, MTN News.